Welcome to Google for Real Estate. I'm Derek Bixler, real estate agent, outdoor adventure sportsman, volunteer firefighter, and Google marketing geek. Let's get into it. I've got a bunch of news and random things to go over, some leftover from last week, and a couple of new things. And then if anybody here live has any questions or issues or ask me anything or any wins or anything they want to share, that's always welcome too. We were able to fill the whole room up with questions last week, so that was nice. So I guess I will open the floor up before I start going into things does anybody have any questions, issues, anything with Google stuff? All right. Everything's working perfectly. Everybody's out there getting reviews, like you'll hear me say like 8 million times during this episode again. It's all about reviews, and that's one of the new things I added from another webinar that I watched yesterday. Reviews more important. So hopefully nobody's having any issues and you're out there getting reviews, because that's the main ongoing thing. So I'll get into it. Let's scroll up to the top. Links are in. I've kind of stopped saying all that crap. Links are in the thing if you want here live to find the replays or any of the other room links. I don't even know what's in that room links link anymore, where it says all links in the chat, and then free discovery call. If you need to reach out to me, need help with something, feel free to do that. If you message me, I will probably send you that link with a nice, sorry to be so automated. I need to make that a text shortcut. I type it out every time, and every time I type it out, I'm like, this needs to be a text shortcut. Sorry to be so automated, but it's usually the easiest is to click this link and pick a time to chat. Look forward to chatting with you. And don't feel offended if you get that exact text from me if you message me. But anyhow, in the chat if you need to talk to me, and above also is a link if you need to talk to me one-on-one. Or you could just call. You could gamble and just call, and I do try to answer my phone most of the time if I'm not in something, because that's where that's where the Google stuff comes from. So you could gamble and try to do that, and maybe I will answer the phone. Anyhow, all right, let's get into this stuff here. Nobody has anything. Last week, well, a win. This is a loss, but last week I talked about a win, how I got a bunch of email subscribers, like 400 over the last 30 days or something. And at first, like a while ago, I was like, oh, all right, maybe my website or people are finding me for some reason. And it's from the embedded form and all the like look real, kind of. But anyway, but then it kept growing and growing, and then it got to like 400 in the last 30 days, and then I started checking my website metrics, and nothing on there is saying that even that many people have been there. Actually, there's a bunch of errors with my search bomb website because I'm not the website master. But anyhow, so that doesn't make sense. And then I checked my embedded form, and actually my embedded form is disabled. And then I started checking the emails, and I had already kind of concluded that this had to be spam or not real or whatever. But then I started checking the emails. I forget what the website was, but I just typed one of the email addresses into Google, and then there was a website, maybe a couple of websites, but I went to one of them, and it would tell you the spam level and how many reports on that email address, and I kept putting them in, and they were all like 1,100 reports of spam, 1,200 reports of spam. So yeah, I gotta go into my MailChimp and freaking delete everyone. Luckily, it's pretty obvious, and I think you can just bulk delete, like check mark, check mark, check mark. So it shouldn't be too bad, but I don't even know why people would do that. How does that even help anybody to be on my email list, unless they work for MailChimp and their job is to up email lists so that and I did get a message because I stepped over another tier as this happened from MailChimp to say, hey, you need to switch your plan. So I don't know what they have to gain, but anyway, I got to go in there, delete that stuff. Then I still want an embedded form on my website, so I got to figure that out, or enable it, or create a new one, or just do without it. I don't know, but anyhow, I thought I was getting a bunch of email subscribers. Turns out that's a bunch of crap, and I don't know why people even do it. News and random things. Google Marketing Live, I mentioned that last time. If you want to watch Google Marketing Live, that's on YouTube, and there's a couple of summaries of it from actually Google, and then a bunch of other commentary and videos about it from other creators. Basically, it's about Google Ads. When they say Google Marketing Live, they're not talking about email marketing or design or mailers or cold calling or really any funnels or any marketing stuff, other than it's really just centered around Google Ads, YouTube Ads, but Google Ads and the advances in Google Ads and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to watch that, you can, but it's just a bunch of, it's interesting maybe if it was in the background, maybe worth a listen if you're into that stuff, but nothing groundbreaking or crazy. However, some of the things they share are cool. Their AI, they're awake now. The giant has awoken, and they're in the AI game for sure. And everything's dropping, and you can actually use a lot of the stuff that they've been talking about for the last year now. So it is a big deal, but I don't know whether it's worth, I think it was like 2 hours. Or Google Marketing Live, you can go watch that if you want to. I've been trying HeyGen. This isn't Google related, but for all those other people out there, I've been hearing everybody doing it, so I obviously have to chime in or jump into the game and try to build a avatar version of myself. And I found that it's kind of dumb as far as the advanced, how far it has advanced. Like it's not actually, it's manipulating what you give it rather than just kind of creating an entire digital you, so to speak, that it can then just make do whatever. Because, if you want different shirts, you gotta make different avatars and different backgrounds and different what. And you can do a green screen if you pay for it. I think then you can remove backgrounds, so then the background thing would go away, but still the outfit, or you would think, they could even put hair on. I want to have a mustache now, or I don't want to have a mustache now, or I don't. It seems kind of not fully there yet. So I'm going to do it, and I have plenty of video to feed it and audio recorded to feed it. So I can probably get a decent thing going, but I feel like a bunch of us are going to do all this work to feed it and kind of train this dumb avatar, and then they'll come out with, hey, set up the LiDAR on your phone and it'll actually get 3-dimensional mapping of your face and, turn to the side, do all these things, and then it'll actually render, and then, repeat these phrases which have all the words and syllables and things that they need to make something out of, and then it'll actually create a digital version, which is kind of what it's doing, but not like it. You gotta tell it a lot. It's not the greatest. It's not just like feed it a video of you and it comes out really good. All those baby videos that are out there, I think those are a lot harder to do than they appear, and the people making those, because those are good, and those lips are spot on, and they got clothes on, and it's not the easiest thing to do. But I am doing the HeyGen. I think I'm gonna have to pay for it. You can't really do much of anything with the free version. Just doing a couple tests fills up your monthly quota in 5 minutes. I literally think I was on there for 25 minutes, and it was you're at your quota. So cool. And there are competitors too, so I don't know if that's the best one or not, but that seems to be the one that everybody's using. And then SubMagic was another one that I was gonna try out that I haven't tried yet. If anybody's used SubMagic or HeyGen, feel free to chime in. But SubMagic, the thought being, I make the videos in HeyGen and then drop them into SubMagic, which then makes them look all pretty, does all the fancy editing things. But again, these things, what they say on the box does not actually match. It's not as easy, or the product that comes out is not as easy. There's a lot of work to fine tune it, I think. But anyhow, I'm going to try those things. And with AI, you got to kind of do it, and then it will learn you, I suppose. suppose. I wish there was just a Google. There is Google VO 1, 2, and 3. VO2 basically is the one everybody has access to, and then VO3 is the top tier paid thing with Google, and that's a video rendering, text to video basically. You could create almost anything. However, I don't know if you can create an avatar of yourself, but I mean, you would think you could. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody of using that to make avatars of themselves, but if you can create anything, why wouldn't you be able to create yourself? So I don't know. It's very expensive. The Google, it's $125 a month for the first 3 months, I think, right now, for the top tier Gemini AI package, which gets you access to Flow, which is also a video rendering and design thing, VO3, which is the top tier video creation, and then all the other stuff, extra features in Notebook LM, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to get access to VO3 really, which is why a lot of people will do it, just for that probably. So I was thinking about maybe doing it for a few months if you don't have to commit to a year, and then try it. But anyhow, so I tried HeyGen. I'm not like overly impressed, but I think when you work at it, you can get to a point where it's pretty decent. And if you could streamline things and give the thing a script and not have to be there, and at some point you don't even have to write the script or anything, that sounds very, very appealing. Having work done and not having to do the work sounds very awesome. So anyhow, Google AI Studio, I wrote that down last time. Now I forget what it is. If you go to Google AI Studio, which I'm doing live right now to refresh. Why is my browser searching in Yahoo? No likey that. Google AI Studio. If you go there, it's basically just a place that does a bunch of the stuff that ChatGPT does also, I guess. You got a chat prompt, so you can just chat with it and ask it stuff. High quality text to speech. I haven't tried that yet. Texting or creating a voice with that, but it's not your voice, it's just creating a voice. Live audio to audio dialogue, so you could talk back and forth. Native image generation. Their image generation is pretty fantastic. I don't know about in the free version, but definitely in the paid, their video and image stuff is pretty great. Stream, what's Stream? Talk to Google Live. So Stream is just conversationally with Gemini. Generate media, like I said, they have Imagen that makes images. VO3 being the newest best one. Where's the thing? Build, you can build apps with Gemini pretty quick. That's kind of cool. I don't know why you would need an app, but be kind of cool. And then Flow was the other thing I mentioned, which was not mentioned there. That's the kind of annoying thing with Google's stuff is it's all fragmented. It's like in all these different places. Like, why wouldn't Flow be in AI Studio? Why just put it all in one place so it all is in one place. It doesn't make any sense. But and then you have to go to, if you want Notebook LM, I got to go to a whole different place to do Notebook LM. So just put all the things in one Google AI space. Anyhow, if you go to Flow and you log in, you cannot create with Flow, but you can watch Flow TV. There'll be a button to do that, and then there are like channels on there, and like microverse, ultra wide, snout and about, drone zone, bloom, all these different kind of things with examples that you can watch. There's one called Mundo Queso, so it's cheese basically, and then if you look at the videos that were created around that theme, it's just a bunch of things made of cheese, like a pool of cheese with rhinos walking through it, a cave of cheese, a house made of cheese, couches and everything with kind of dripping from the ceiling and stuff. So it just gives you basically examples of the kinds of things you could create with Flow. And how Flow differs from VO3, I'll have to figure out. Because I am going to pay for at least the bottom middle tier pretty soon, I think. Now it's worth it. A year ago, it was not worth it. I got it after the last Google AI Live or whatever the thing was, and then I really didn't use it and didn't see any point in it. But with the video creation, I think it might be worth it. So anyhow, where are my notes? Google AI Studio, if you want to check that out. Flow, if you want to check that out. The baby thing, I had a question mark by that because I didn't know how the baby thing, how people were doing that, and I wanted to try it. I did look up some YouTube videos, so I basically know how to do the baby thing, I guess. But again, not as easy as it seems. It's not just like plug in a picture of me and tell it to make me into a baby and talk. It doesn't just work that easily. Disclosures in YouTube videos. Oh, this was just a little note. I was watching a Alex Hermosi video, and I noticed at the bottom of his videos, he had a disclosure, which I haven't noticed. Like, all information contained in here is to the best of our knowledge. You are supposed to look into things yourself. We're not held responsible, blah, 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 all those typical kind of things. Disclaimer maybe is a better word. Disclosure, disclaimer. And I don't think I've noticed that anywhere else, but I think it's a good idea. So, especially with real estate, maybe some people do it. If you do, chime in and tell me you do. But that was just something I noticed, a little note, and thought that would be a good idea to add to YouTube videos, some kind of disclaimer at the bottom. Also, for me, non-real estate stuff, for like Google marketing stuff, which is somewhat around what he talks about sometimes, it would be a good disclaimer to have in those videos of mine as well. In the near memo, which this was in the most recent episodes. There have been a couple episodes since last time I not since last week, but last time I shared things, because we didn't go through my notes last week. In the near memo, they talked about how websites matter for AI models and AI model searches. So ChatGPT, Google Gemini, especially the deep AI mode on Google search, Perplexity, Grok, which I would not use. That's been shown to be the least accurate. And Claude and Copilot, and I'm sure there are 8 million other ones that I could add to the list. And Google probably has like 5 different ones that are all fragmented that could be added to the list. Anyhow, if we are trying to show up on AI searches for best realtor near me, who should I get to sell the house, all that kind of stuff, the website is going to matter a lot, is what they were saying, and I've been saying it also. They scan websites. The AI heavily uses, you will hear them mention schema markup. Schema markup is basically kind of text on the back end of your website and website pages that tells the indexing and the crawlers and the scanners, Google and all the rest, what that page is about. If you don't have it there, it can still scan the page and kind of figure out what it is, and you have a page title and all that stuff. But schema markup and other structured data on the back end has always been good for any SEO, but also is super important for AI models. They're for sure looking at schema markup and structured data on websites. They were also talking about how to put testimonials on websites, super important, and then have that schema telling all the crawlers that this page is reviews and testimonials about this business. If you're looking to do schema markup, SCHEMA, or just use your voice and say it to your computer. If you're looking to do it, I have a WordPress site. I just paid. I think I pay like $60 a year for some schema markup tool or some SEO tool that has that as the, I think it's all-in-one SEO. Pretty positive that's the one. And it's not too expensive, and it has other SEO tools too. It kind of tells you a score for SEO when you're building your page and what you missed or need to do or whatever. But the paid version also has a schema markup wizard. So I just use the wizard, whether it's the perfect way or how a heady, good website SEO person, which I am not, would do it. I'm not sure, but I can say that it for sure helped my pages get noticed. You can tell by the way things display when it displays my website in Google a lot of times. You can see that there are sub pages listed and things. That happened once I did the schema markup. My ranking in Google, my Google business profile got better when I added the schema markup. All the things, just it helps tell everybody what the website is about. So a little heady, but if you already have a website and it's already humming along and you're pretty happy with it, this might be a next thing to do in 2025 or 2026 or something, is to get some schema markup on your website. And you don't have to do it on it's on the page level. Again, I know enough to be dangerous, but it's not a schema markup for the website. It's for each page. So each page you would have to do it for. And you would do it specific to that page, what the page is about. And I guess you wouldn't have to do all the pages all at once. You could just start with your home page to make sure Google and everything knows what your main website is about and your most important page is about, and then start do it for your listing. That's how I did it. I did my home page, and then I did my listing services page, and then I did my buyer's agent services page. I think I did it for my relocation services page. What else? I did it for my testimonial. I built a reviews page and a testimonials page. However, very annoying. I looked at my Google Search Console data of what things were coming up. That's not how I did it. I Googled reviews for Derek Bixler. That's what I did. I Googled reviews for Derek Bixler, and maybe I added realtor, because I wanted to see, like, if somebody was vetting me and they typed that into Google or something like that, what comes up. And that's how I noticed. Let me see if it's here again. Yes, there it is. agentderek.com. Yeah, Google reviews for Derek Bixler Realtor in Carlisle and Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania area. It is the Google G image that is on my testimonials page, which is named what I just read off, Google reviews for blah, 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 blah. I structured the naming of that image, blah, 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 too good, I think, because that is now what shows. And if you click it, it takes you to my website, but it's just kind of a page that's created just with that Google G on it, with the title above, which has dashes between the words and is, a file name, not supposed to be a website page. So that's how I found it. I typed in reviews for Derek Bixler, and really it's the top result. It is the very top result, is that basically the Google G. So I thought maybe I shuffled it to the bottom of my to-do list, but I wanted to rename that image file, or just remove the naming of that image file altogether. And I have schema set up for that reviews page too, so even more annoying. And it is further down, I'm seeing it's pulling another image from that page, the header image, which is just a stock image of 5 stars. So my SEO is working somehow, kind of, but it's working for my images, not for the actual page. So I need to just, maybe if I unname those images, but I want them to be consistent with the page, I would think. But whatever. I'm not super concerned with it, but a little bit annoying. And it is the top thing that people see. Other than my Google business profile, that would be on desktop, it's to the side. So it is all the way at the top, basically, but it's on the side. People would see that right away. And if I was on mobile, it would be at the top of the mobile results, bookmarking and housing all those rest of the websites and everything. So that would be in their phase 2. So that image being the first thing, not terrible, but not great. And then you see Facebook business page as the next one. So again, Google business profile, but then after that weird website thing, it's Facebook business page is what Google went to next. And then Yelp, you've been hearing me talk about Yelp the last months, Yelp mattering more, and then Zillow. So again, illustrates exactly what I've been saying. So after that stupid Google G image of mine, you've got Facebook business page, Yelp, and Zillow. I would put Facebook business page and Zillow above Yelp, but Yelp kind of having a resurgence, at least on Google and Apple. I've mentioned it before. Apple Business Connect, you will see Yelp reviews. If you went to my Apple Business Connect, you would see my 4 Yelp reviews on there. And if someone wants to give me a Yelp review, we're not allowed to request them, so I don't know how you give one. Just give one, and maybe hopefully it goes through. They're worse, apparently, and their whole algorithm is tailored to sniff out reviews that were asked for, whether good or bad. They don't want you, they just want people to feel compelled to leave one. But hook me up there if you want. Maybe we need to figure out a system to get everybody some Yelp reviews, but think about that a little bit. Maybe search yourself reviews for yourself and then see what comes up and make sure what comes up looks good. And if nothing comes up or the wrong things come up, then correct it. Next, branded searches are up. Branded searches are up because people are discovering on socials, then they vet on search engines and AI. So that was also in the near memo, and they just mentioned how exactly that people going to Google or ChatGPT or the others and typing Derek Bixler Realtor vetting me, or typing in Nike shoes, or whatever, John's Plumbing, and vetting the business first. Those searches are up because people are discovering businesses on socials, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. And it doesn't necessarily mean discovery, doesn't necessarily mean they just get hit with their content, then like their content and end up following them and then using the business. Discovery, there's probably some of that, but discovery would also mean that they're literally going to TikTok or Instagram. Those are the two that people mention a lot, but YouTube also. YouTube, one of these places, and typing in realtor in Carlisle, Pennsylvania or something, and then they're watching checking out profiles, they're watching some of the videos, and then they base their decision on who they might want to use off of what they see on socials, and then they go to Google or ChatGPT and say, hey, tell me about Derek Bixler, realtor in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So branded searches are up, and that is due to people searching more and doing more brand discovery on socials. And again, that could be deliberate, actually searching for a realtor to find something or a product or whatever, or possibly just they come upon the content and like it and then discover the business that way. So the message there is, you've heard me say it before, all the stuff that I do and talk about, meaning Google business profile and looking awesome on Google, it's, even if you threw out getting random leads, random calls from random people, even if you threw that out the window and said, that will never happen, I don't care about that, I don't want to talk to those people, or my market's too big because this guy has 1,000 reviews and this guy has 8,000 reviews and this lady has 4,000 reviews, and they're huge teams and I'm never going to beat them out and I'm never going to get random calls and rank and all that stuff. Number one, not totally true. You could, number of reasons there, but also, even if you took that all away, looking awesome on your Google business profile, and also all those other things that come up when people branded search you, Facebook business page, Zillow, blah, 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 looking good on all those things when people vet you on search engines is another reason to do the things and that will get you money also. You'll get more conversions from your mailers, from your referrals, from your community events, from your socials, from your YouTube videos, from all the other stuff that you do. When people search you out, then it will solidify it and convert them, and you'll get the call. We all don't get calls that we never know about. Somebody said, hey, you should hit up Derek. All right, I'll hit him up. They pull out their phone, Google me. Nope, don't like his face, not calling him. I never heard about it. That person doesn't text me and say, hey, I told this person to call you or something. A lot of the times, sometimes that happens, but many times not. So having your branded search results, when people ask reviews for this person, or just type your name in there, or with ChatGPT, it's going to be a lot more conversational, but having all the things set up and looking nice and making you look like the bomb is super, super important, and even more important now than ever before, because that's what they're going to be using Google for. And this is proof of that they're going to be using it to vet people. Search Engine Roundtable, they were talking about discussions replacing Reddit. So discussions, quote unquote, I guess is a Google thing that I've been like squinting this whole time, staring at my screen, forgetting that my glasses are on my head. Discussions are a thing on Google that are basically like a forum, like AOL back in the day, or Reddit, or whatever, if you like that kind of stuff. So discussions would be a Google product, like Google Discussions, so to speak. They debated whether it would be replacing Reddit. I don't think Google Discussions is an actual thing. I think it's just something that somebody heard about or got leaked or something. Google did buy into Reddit. I don't think they just bought the whole thing, but they invested in it for sure. And coincidentally, when they did it, rankings for forums went up. When people ask a question, what's the best this or that, forums went up in the ranking, because they figure blog posts and things like that are written by a person that could be just doing things for SEO, or they have a skewed view or whatever. But forums have actual people, although everybody's anonymous on those things, so I don't know how great that is, but it's actual people, and then answers get upvoted, and kind of the community surfaces the right answer and directs people to the right answer, and you get real time, real people, blah, blah, blah. So they're buying into Reddit, kind of coincidentally went along with forums and things like that, ranking more when people ask questions on Google. So I don't know if discussions I don't know that it might be dropped, but whether it will replace Reddit, obviously, probably not. New Google Super G logo. They dropped a new logo, except I'm not really seeing it anywhere, at least on my devices. But it's pretty much the same logo, except for the colors that go around the G. Instead of being a hard cutoff between the blue and the red and the yellow, or whatever the colors are, it fades. The color fades to the next one and fades to the next one. That's pretty much the only difference that I could tell. And again, I haven't really seen it anywhere, but there is a new Super G, quote unquote, G logo for Google. New GBP feature they mentioned called What's Happening, quote unquote, which pulls GBP being Google Business Profile, new Google Business Profile feature called What's Happening, quote unquote, which pulls from updates and social posts. So again, I've been talking about this for a while. Also, how if you search for me, so instead of reviews for me, I'll just type in Derek Bixler Realtor. And if I scroll down, got my website as the first thing, which is always great. If you can dictate that being your first thing, that's always awesome. Yeah. And then, well, it says videos. And it's got a Facebook video, Instagram video. And it did not give me the what's happening on there. What if I do it on my phone? basically, instead of showing, and I've seen it lots of times and they're always testing different things, but instead of displaying the updates that I posted to my Google business profile, they were pulling in Instagram posts. Maybe it's because I haven't posted anything decent in a couple weeks or something. I don't know. The one that is in here is from a couple weeks ago, that last one that I posted. But instead of using the updates as the kind of latest from this business or what's happening section, you will see your Instagram posts or your Facebook or YouTube or any other socials. Let's see what view all gives me. Gives me my YouTube channel, Derek Bixler, Realtor at the top. And I have multiple channels. That's my kind of catch-all for general realtor stuff, and just looks like me, has my video tours on it. The Want to Move There show is on that channel, but that channel, the goal with that one isn't really to really get business from it or get subscribers or monetize or any of that kind of stuff. It's more just if people are vetting me again and go there, it looks like me. I look like I do real estate. There are current videos there. I look active. I look presentable. My contact information is there, yada, yada. So my Derek Bixler, Realtor YouTube is kind of the catch-all. Doesn't matter all that much. Does matter in the way that I just said, but doesn't matter as far as like growing the channel and all that kind of stuff. And then separate channels would be devoted and very tailored and specific things to do that with. So I got my YouTube channel at the top, then my personal Facebook, a video tour that looks really old. video, old podcast episode. I've been doing live video for a minute. That one's from 2021. How to dominate local search. Not bad one to have in there, I guess, if people are looking for me for that, but it's super old, and I don't know why Google favors what it shows here. But anyway, bunch of videos. Then it gets to mostly Instagrams. I'll see what's coming up. If you have that what section, what's in there, show it differently. Mobile does typically show it. Should be doing that once a week, once a month. If you're like, I don't want to do that ever, at least once a month. If not, what I do once a day is overkill, I believe. But once a week, post an update. I like to post testimonial posts. And even if they aren't shown, Google chooses to show others. So in that section, then so be it, whatever. Because your updates will also sometimes get pulled up into your photos section. Like they'll pull the image from one of your updates into the photo carousel, and that's why I like to do testimonials. So they're like sliding sideways on your picture, pretty picture, smiling client, pretty picture, smiling client that looks like me. And then testimonial, awesome, diligent, professional, Derek. Well, I wouldn't give myself a review, but, and then pretty picture, good job, worked hard, Sally, pretty picture. So you get the idea. So don't stop doing updates just because I said that they get replaced with your other social content. Sometimes you still want to be posting those at least once a week is what I coach on. Next one, Apple Maps adding more information from Yelp, as you heard me just mention, but also they said TripAdvisor insights and ratings and reviews from other sources, quote unquote, etc. Apple Maps expanding in general. So we've been talking about that. I've been saying get yourself on Apple Business Connect. It sometimes cannot be the easiest thing. Verifying your company. There are 3 levels. You got to do your company and you got to verify that, which usually just requires one document upload. And if it's correct and matches the thing, it should work, hopefully. And then there's your brand. And then there's your location under the brand. So it's the company, the brand, and then the location. And sometimes it can be a pain in it doesn't seem to be consistent because I work on multiple accounts, and the verification, sometimes they require things, or there are, like the one account, they want a business registration document, but the address on the business registration document is the registered agent of the LLC, which is not the business address of the person, but it is what it is. So it didn't like that because the address on the business license or registration document does not match the brand or location address. So tried to explain that to Apple. They do not care to listen or whatever. So we had to change the address to be consistent with the location, because we can't have the wrong location out there in the world for where she is. So we changed the company location to be consistent. We changed the company name slightly, and then we uploaded a different proof that they said they would accept, a utility bill, I guess it was, which had all the matching stuff, and they didn't like that either. And I think that was the last step. So I'm still, or maybe we did 3 steps. And anyway, it's been a pain. But then, so that's been a kind of an address issue. But now on mine, my company is a different address than my location for sure. And I just changed my location again for the second or third time, and it's different. It's not the location that's in my business registration document that I uploaded. So it doesn't seem to be consistent, which would be consistent with Google and all the other ones or whatever. So Apple Maps, not rocket science to kind of fill out and get yourself on there. There are some nuances and there are some optimizations to be done, but you can get yourself at least minimally on there fairly easily. But verifying sometimes can be a pain in the butt. And again, they said that same thing I've been saying, that Yelp is being pulled over. TripAdvisor, they said, had been. I would think that's probably on hotel or restaurant or those kind of things. Maybe they're pulling over TripAdvisor stuff. Or I guess if you're a realtor, I don't know if you can get reviews as a realtor on TripAdvisor. Maybe if you did have reviews there, maybe all the search engines would find that and pull it over too. But Yelp for us, I think mainly is the thing. But then they said that they're constantly expanding Apple Maps and pulling more information from the web to display kind of with your Apple Business Connect and your branded search on there possibly. So Apple Business Connect, get yourself on there. Where am I at? 9:48. Whoa. I got more stuff on here than I thought. Does anybody have any questions or comments on any of that stuff that I've spewed so far? No? All right. So Memorial Day and after live search. I don't know what the heck that means. Oh, Search Console. Google Search Console, which you've heard me talk about, is supposed to start showing traffic from AI overviews and AI mode now. Kind of, I guess. Not super specifically. I guess it will show up whether it's one of the two, either place it shows up, the AI overviews or the AI mode, it will probably show the same in your tracking tool or on Google Search Console is what they're talking about now. So basically, if you got traffic to your website via AI overviews on Google or AI mode on Google, it would not show in your analytics tool as a visit to your website, or at least it wouldn't track where it came from properly. But now Search Console, they are saying, is supposed to show whether traffic came from AI overviews or AI mode. And I guess I don't know if it's going to tell you specifically which one. And I put in parentheses kind of, so there must be some nuance to it where they're kind of saying, but not really giving people the information that they want. Ads are not in. Yeah, you might hear people talking about how there are paid Google ads in quote unquote AI overviews. AI overviews, again, being those when you ask Google a question, it does the Googling for you, gives you an AI summary at the top. Those are AI overviews. There are supposed to be ads. Well, you'll hear people say there are ads in AI overviews, but actually there are not ads in AI overviews yet, or that I know of or have seen or heard anybody else talk about. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen, but it really means that they are above or below. So there's kind of the widget in the search results that has the AI overview, and then either above that widget or below that widget is a Google ad for somebody. So I don't think when you hear people say there are ads in AI overviews, I think they are kind of bookmarked or beside or underneath or around AI overviews. They are not embedded in kind of the AI overview widget thing. However, I could be wrong. They are always testing things. Disclaimer, blah, 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 blah. Bright Local, Medio, SEO Inspector. Oh, this was just a Chrome plugin that I didn't know about that I still need to put on mine, I think. It's called Meta SEO Inspector, and it's a Chrome browser plugin for seeing website metadata. So you can see all their H1 headings or H2 or your own if you're auditing yourself, trying to look at things. Obviously, you could look at things in your website builder, but if you wanted to see kind of an outline in things, it'll give you the back end kind of data and what the search engines are seeing about your website, so to speak. So Meta SEO Inspector, if anybody wants to get that, and I'm definitely get that because I forgot to. Google Marketing Live, I already talked about that. Bunch of AI stuff, Google Ads and AI, Google Ads, AI, and Google Ads. And then Sterling Sky, that was just them mentioning again that Google is full force on AI now. They're not holding back anymore. They are a force to be reckoned with, blah, 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 all that stuff. So look out, ChatGPT. Who knows? The fragmenting is something Google will have to get over. I think there's too much fragmentation of their AI, in my opinion, right now. That's kind of why ChatGPT, in my opinion, kind of easier or less complicated to get into and start using, I think. However, Google may simplify it, and I think Google's is more powerful and in the end probably better. Those are probably fighting words for some reason, but anyhow, I'll probably pay for it soon, and maybe we'll see what VO3 can create. So, all right. If nobody has any questions or anything, anybody have any questions, comments, issues, related or unrelated? If not, we will peace out for the week. And hopefully everybody is getting reviews and creating content too. That's something I need to uptick in, is creating content.
I
Brenda,
just
were you
wanted
going
to
say
thank
something?
you. There's a lot of information I'm still processing.
You're quite welcome. Even if it's background noise for you while you're working, I'm happy to give you background voice. I should start writing jokes or start every room with a joke. Q, what's up? I heard a question. Come up. Sorry, I stopped manning the...
Hey, Derek, thank you so much. Another masterclass, my friend. Thank you very much. So, I got a question for you. I went on ChatGPT and I asked the ChatGPT a question. I said, who's the best real estate agent in Wasaga Beach in my area, right? And it popped up two names. One is like he's busy, but the other name showed up and she doesn't even do much business anymore. So where is the ChatGPT taking these names when somebody asks that question for the area? So, and how do I AI do the optimization so when somebody look for the best realtor, busy, and I can be on the top? How do I do that?
Yeah, so first part of it, the reason why she's coming up, one thing I would do is kind of look at what ChatGPT is referencing and everybody could do it, and you could do a second time tonight and get different results, and it's blah blah blah. But I would kind of look at what it's referencing, and then you reverse engineer it. But I can already tell you that most of it, it's an expanded. You got to be everywhere, even more so than before. So the days of I could just crush it on my Google business profile and do nothing else, and I'll get business from that, from the Google business profile and from search, those days are kind of over, because even Google, to rank your Google business profile, is looking at your Zillow reviews, at your website, at your Zillow listings, your past sales, if you have current listings right now. It's looking at websites heavily. As I talked about, the way for them to properly scan your website and know about you would be all the normal SEO things and schema and titling things right and having keywording right and all the things and photos and blah blah blah. So regular typical SEO structuring of websites is one of the things. I would guess if she's an old agent and she doesn't do much, it might be her website. I'd be curious to know if it's referencing her website at all, because I do see Zillow referenced a lot. Google obviously does get referenced. Yelp reviews, those things like that. But then I also see a lot of times, 30% of the time they will mention a website. And a lot of times when they're mentioning an agent, they mention the brokerage's website, which tells me that brokerage website is probably very old, never changes, fairly decent SEO because it's been around forever, has lots of words and things talking about real estate and in the area and everything. So it's that website has some SEO clout, so to speak. So that helps that person kind of rank also, together with all their reviews, and they have active listings on Zillow right now, yada, yada. So the way specifically in your area, and again, this could change tomorrow, tonight, you could do it a minute from now and it could do a different thing. But what everybody's talking about, the same thing I've been saying, is you got to be everywhere. Because when people ask ChatGPT or that AI agent, the end all, whenever you get that assistant that's just in your ear 24 hours a day, you can talk to it on the computer, on your phone, it's just everywhere. Like, what is that on Iron Man? Jeeves, or I forget what that thing's called. But that assistant that everybody talks to, you're going to say, hey, who should we get to sell the house? And it's going to ask you questions back. Well, I don't know. Do you want to do this or that? Or do you want a big agency or this? And it's going to know all your emails and your friends and all the things. And it's, at least at minimum, it is not just going to say, hey, this one has lots of Google reviews and it's the closest to you. That's another thing that's a video I'm going to make, and I meant to put it in the notes for this episode, is proximity is going to matter less in the future. With Google business profiles right now, you rank with your Google business profile in proximity to the searcher. So the farther away you get from the searcher, the less you are prone or able to rank high in the rankings. There are ways to expand your footprint, yada, yada, and rank better. But in general, it's proximity based. But when people are talking to ChatGPT and doing all these things, that thing doesn't really care. It's looking for what matches your criteria, obviously within reason and within the market. But if it's looking for an agent that specializes in Carlisle townhouses, then it's going to figure out who that person is and tell you, not just because the person is only half a mile from you and has good reviews on Google. It's looking at all the things. So the answer specifically, I'd have to see the query, look at it, reverse engineer it, kind of why that specific person showed up. But could be website, could just be longevity, could be that there's something we're missing. But in general, you do just want to be kind of all the places, looking good, like I always say, be on all the places you should be, everything consistent, looking good, and then get reviews on Google. Google's still top, best one to do. But also Facebook business page and Zillow being the second two to get some reviews on here and there. And then Yelp. And then that's probably where I would stop with real estate agents. And it's not like in the future reviews will stop. This is another thing they were talking about on the one show. Reviews aren't going to stop. Reviews and testimonials just get more and more and more and more important because you want proof. There's so many people out there. People want proof. And that's what they need to do that. And people can't ask ChatGPT or that AI agent or Perplexity, blah, blah, blah. They can't ask that thing for the best one if that thing doesn't have anything to find out there. So it's not like Google business profiles, even though how they work, how you rank, how people are finding you on there, blah, 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 might change. Again, still pretty much the same-ish right now as it's been. But it doesn't mean that just goes away and you don't need to do that. It still needs to be there. It still needs to look like the bomb because even the AIs are going to be out there looking for you and trying to find you in the places you should be. They need information to draw from to make their conclusion. So it's not like Google business profiles go away or Facebook business profiles go away or Yelp or all these things go away. It's just that they'll be used in a different way and it'll be more of a vetting tool, and like I talked about earlier, branded search is up and people vetting. So it's not wasted time to keep getting reviews, yada yada. The proof is in the pudding, and the reviews are your proof. Alex Hermosi, something like that. That's not a direct quote, but he said something like that in a video that I watched this morning. All right, I think that's all I got at 10:01. I said I was gonna. I guess I can't. I am unable to keep anything under 30 minutes, even our Krista and I's podcast, wannamovethare.com, if you want to check it out. Wannamovethare.com. First episode drops tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Live while it's a premiere. It's pre-recorded, but we'll stream as if live. If you would like to be a guest, hit me up. But forget what I was talking about. Anyhow, all right. Can't keep it under 30. Oh, yeah. All those, we were going to keep it under 30, and I don't think we've done one under 40 yet. So, anyhow, if nobody has any questions or anything, we will peace out. Q, was that good? Did you get your answer? Sorry, I didn't even
that
check
was more than good, Derek. More than good. Total makes sense. I just have to be. I got to start from the Yelp because I'm not even on Yelp. So I got to figure that one out. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Get those reviews on Google first, probably.
Got it.
Because if you're not even on Yelp, then it can't draw from that, if that makes sense. Like, I'm on there, but I kind of wish I just wasn't, maybe, because I only have 4 reviews, and then since it's on there, it wants to show that for me, or use that as my reviews on Apple Business Connect. If I didn't have Yelp, would Apple Business Connect pull reviews from somewhere else, or would it just not have reviews, or how does that work? So I don't know. Maybe once you're ready and humming on the others, then toss Yelp into the mix and be ready to solicit and get some reviews, even though you're not supposed to do that on there right away, because I don't think you want to just create it and have it sit there. That is one you would want to kind of, if you're creating it, you would want to go get some reviews right away.
Derek, I had a question.
All right. Yo.
You were referencing something VO2, V something. I don't know if it was like a Google thing. VEO.
So kind of like video, but VO is Google's video generation AI.
Okay. Is that what
so
it is?
text, you type in, make me a video of this thing, and then it generates a video and spits it out. VO2, they're up to VO3, which is supposed to be the bomb, except that is the highest tier you'd have to pay for. It's $250 a month after the promotion runs out. But VO2, you have to pay for that for the most part. You can play around with it, little like 8-second clips, I think, for now, for free.
Okay.
But yeah, VO is what it's called.
All right, cool. I wasn't sure what that was. Thanks, buddy.
Yep. All right, 10:04. I'll let you guys and ladies go, and we will see you next week. Thanks for hanging out. Go get a review.